I think the first year of YouTube was still when I was in
I see.
teaching.
So you were kind of doing both, and then. So let me ask you a
Trying to get
question
all
about Ableton.
my students to subscribe.
Yes, yes, for extra credit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask a question about Ableton Push2. So
Oh, my favorite topic.
First and foremost, I want to know, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm all right, thank you. I finished my new single mix, so I'm very good. So I'm going to have a really cool track coming out next month, and I finished the mix today, and you know the point where you are like, I think I'm happy with it, but let's just wait for a couple days and just see how I feel about it. But I think I'm happy with it. But yeah, I'm so good. How are you?
That's awesome. I could totally relate to everything you just said. Tomorrow I'm having a album listening party for my debut project. I have a baby girl named Kayla who is turning 1 in a couple of weeks.
Aww.
And I created an album called Kayla Joy Album. And I'm having a few friends and family come and listen to a few tracks tomorrow. And it's being released on April 5th on Bandcamp, and then a week later on all streaming platforms. So I know exactly what you mean. I was literally tinkering with some songs yesterday at this coffee shop, and I'm like, I want to, make some modifications and stuff. But I'm very happy with how it came out, though.
Well, congratulations. That sounds really cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I want to get straight into a few different things with you. I was actually watching your Ableton Note video today, and I'm going to start right there because I was so impressed with the video as a fellow content creator, as someone who does a lot of mobile music stuff, and someone who's finally getting some time and I guess inspiration to start using Ableton Note a little bit. I knew about it when it first came out, but I just was doing other things at that time. So I was doing a little homework, checking you out and stuff. And I guess the first thing, I just wanted to kind of give you your flowers straight away and just say how I really love and appreciate the level of effort that went into just that video right there. It wasn't a sit down and let me talk to you about this app, which it could have been, and it could have been fine, but you were filming outside in these beautiful vistas, and you were making a song on the fly and inspiring people to check the app out and do with it what you can't do with regular Ableton, which is go out and about and just kind of have fun with it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was incredible, first and foremost.
Well, thank you so much. It was a really fun video to do, really, because that was my first video that I did after I launched or announced that I'm going to stop posting once a week. And so I posted 3.5 years once a week without a fail.
Wow.
So I didn't stop for holidays or anything. I was still posting. So that was my first video as a free person out of this scheduled content creation structure. And I think I got to know, because I'm a CT, Ableton Certified Trainer, I got to know about it tiny bit earlier than maybe some people, but that kind of gave me a little bit a heads up for that, to not too much, but just a tiny bit. So I decided that, now with this new freedom, I felt inspired, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wake up really early, get some nice sunrise pictures and stuff, and just go and try it out outside. And it's one of my most successful videos, definitely, and because I was one of the first ones to also post it that morning. And it was just very fun and almost like a reassuring video to do, because I was quite scared to stop posting once a week. So I don't know, there was something so creative about it and so freeing about it, and the fact that it did really well as well, and people really liked it, and they liked the song that I did in it as well. So yeah, I don't know, it was a good start of a new era, I think, that video.
That's fantastic. So I did not know about the weekly for 4 years, which is incredible. I know that you've been on making videos for about 4 years, and I know that you have a ton of videos, because what I like doing is I love seeing where people were and compared to where they are now. I'm sure maybe you and others, you know, kind of do that when you find a new creator.
I always scroll down all the way down to
it, right?
first ones. And my first year was so like, it took me ages to figure out where I am at with this. I feel like I've still been figuring out myself in YouTube, and you can definitely see a big change, I think, in my videos.
1000%.
Anyway.
And you almost, I mean, there was some video I was watching where someone said like you almost should, in a way, cringe a little bit at your old videos. And I was watching one of my old ones, and I was like, okay, I've come a long way. You know, it's not the same thing, which is a good thing.
No, but
so
can
what
I just
made
say to
you-
that thing? Can I just say to that
Please.
one point that came to my mind?
Yeah.
There is this. I've been thinking about this a lot. Whether that is content creation, art, any type of art or music, right? So I've been thinking a lot about the fact that as musicians, we need to be a brand, right? We need to only put out good content because we need to be a brand. And I was talking about this with my Patreons the other day and some fellow musicians, because I look at my Spotify, right? And you have my first debut album, which was kind of poppy, folky type of stuff. That it was the first thing I ever produced. I did it in 3 months when I was still in university, and it was songs that I wrote since between I was 15 to 25, and I was 21 when I started producing. So it was like produced between 21 to 24, 25 there, and I just keep on posting these things because I have been really trying to find my style and who I am, realizing that I'm not only one person, I'm a million different sides of me, and also realizing that this music industry and YouTube, whatever it is, it's actually very much bullshit, because as artists, we're so full of colors, we're so full of sides and moods and emotions and different genres and different feelings, and it's so. And while we are trying to do that, we're told that we need to be unique. But to be unique, you need to figure out who you are. And you cannot be yourself if you're in a box. Anyway, so this is like a whole tantrum. This is a whole thing. And I've been thinking about this a lot. But YouTube, if you look at YouTube, yeah, we cringe. But that's our journey. That's who we were. That's the authentic truth. And we need to appreciate that and respect that person, because that person made you who you are now. That person is the person we should thank, because that person had the courage and the effort to do things that were scary, and they didn't know what they were doing at all, and they were putting effort to be there. And now you should thank that person and not cringe to that person. And I feel like this is something I've started to kind of realize. I don't know, just think a lot recently. Anyway, that's my monologue.
No, that you're entirely right about that. I think on the platform, I mean, I'm not even going to like reiterate what you just said, but I think there's a lot to what you just said that I'm sure resonated a lot with others. You said you share that with your patrons, that is important to be said, right? It's definitely important to be said. And that's why I really love having these types of conversations with other people like yourself who are in a similar space, because we can kind of dive a little bit deeper than what maybe mostly is what's portrayed as, you know, the videos that we put out, right? People have this idea of us, but one of the things I have to say as well, and just watching a handful of your videos this morning, is, and it stands out to me because I'm not even gonna say I try to do it, I do this as well especially in my latest videos, is I feel like when I'm watching your videos, that is you. I feel like you're your authentic self. I feel like you do things in your videos that are a little bit quirky or funny or silly or whatever. And those are almost essential, in my opinion, in order to gain that authenticity, and those little things that you may get a comment on and someone's like, oh, I loved how you did this, or I loved when you did this. And it just goes to show that like it's important to be yourself. So kudos on that.
100%. I think that's when you do art, it's like your perspective matters because there's only one of you, right? So whether that is whatever artistic thing, whether that is teaching or anything, how can we relate to somebody who's not being themselves? Like, because there's only one of you and your perspective, and that's unique and that's beautiful. So why should we try to cover something that is so uniquely amazing? Because there's going to be only one of you in this whole world, in this whole universe. And that is pretty cool. So I grew up doing theater, and I feel like I did that like since I was 4 till 20, and I was going to be an actress. And I think whole of the ethos that I learned from theater is that because I did a class in clownery, so how to be a clown.
Oh wow!
And
Nice.
that was very, very different life then. But part of that is still part of me, and I'm that theater kid in me never left, because in that world you're told constantly that actually what makes people relate to you, actually what makes people laugh, is you showing your vulnerability and you accepting your weakness. So, example, as a clown, you need to actually accept your weakness, and you need to accept your the things that you mostly hate about yourself, or like, and you need to start to like really look into those and take care of those sides of you, because then when you, example, as you said about my videos, I'm very dyslexic. I also, English is not my first language. I'm originally from Finland. I lived in UK for 10 years. So as a dyslexic foreigner in this world, who is girl, who's never been taught to be technical in my whole life, it was something I figured out only as a 21-year-old, is that, oh, I'm a nerd. But it was something nobody told me I can do. It was something I needed to figure out for myself. Those are my vulnerabilities. Those are my weaknesses that other people see as weaknesses. But I decided to embrace them. And yeah, I can't pronounce shit. Like, there's so many words that I can't pronounce in audio. It doesn't mean I don't know what it means. It just means that just being me, I don't know how to say it. And it's okay. And there's many people telling me in comments how to say it. I actually prefer just being me and just saying things as I do, because as long as you understand what I say, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? So it's part of that, like that clown 100%. In me never left.
Wow. And embracing it, right? That's really profound. That absolutely is. You know what I love about this? Liina, by the way, is your name, right?
Yes, Liina.
And Liina, LNA stands for?
It's just my name without eyes. I have 2 eyes in my name.
Yes,
so
okay.
I thought it would be easier for people in other countries to say my name without their 2 eyes, because everybody's like super confused about that I have 2 eyes in my name. My whole name is Liina Turtonen. Okay. So if I would say that, I think that would confuse people. Yeah. So LNA, and LNA is my artist name, but that also confuses people. So I don't know if I just chose something.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me ask you. Well, I was going to say really quick that I love when conversations like this go this direction, right? Go a different direction than, and I don't like. I like having certain things. Like, I'm going to ask you a question in just a second. That's on my iPad here. But I love when when you know, the guests have things that they want to share and that they're passionate about. And so I appreciate you starting with that. So let me ask this question about Ableton Note really quick here. So I've had an experience where I've done, you know, like first impressions and beat making videos on, say, a new app, kind of like, you know, Ableton Note. And the song that's made, because I'm filming and because I am knowing that I really want to get this video out, the song is complete trash. Your song was not. So like, my question for you in that process, like knowing that, oh, you're filming this and this is meant to be a inspiring first impressions video, did you have to like do multiple takes, or did you just make that on the fly? Like, walk me through like how that went for you.
Lucky. It was just lucky, that one.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have million
Yep.
times the same way that you do. It's just the things I've done for videos is like, nope, this is not the track. But then I
Yeah.
need to do a video anyway. So
Yeah.
that track that I made on that, I actually was just very lucky that it sounded good. That I actually did make it while I was walking around York. So yeah, I think it was just one of those weird videos where things line together. But this was also one of those, when you do content creation, a lot of people, like you said, you focus on the video or teaching a certain topic. So you don't put you don't have the artistic mind going on and thinking what is the best sounding track for this. And that kind of prevents a lot of people making videos because the audio industry and the music industry can be very cruel. And if you put a tutorial with the shit track on it, then obviously you're going to get roasted because people are going to be writing that, oh, good video, but shit track, which I've had many occasions. But at the same time, again, it comes back to authenticity, is that what do people expect? Like if you're a content creator and you post once a week for almost 4 years, what do you expect? Because it's like, we don't really see... Again, sorry, this is like I'm very passionate about creative confidence because I wrote a book about it and it comes out later this year. So I'm very much about this mental,
fantastic. Yeah.
like creativity and how it works. But that's why I get passionate about talking about this. But and insecurities is what big part of it. And I was going to just say that, what did I talk about? Yeah, like we as audio creators
4 years.
or as creators or producers, we don't see unfinished work. We don't see mistake work. We don't see the work that as artists, you know, how many times some like big producers have created something that is not that great. So they we know art is full of just pieces that are not maybe work that bad, but then you have that one amazing one. But we never see the other stuff. We don't never see mistakes, or we don't ever see like unfinished work. We only see finished work, and it's so unrealistic. And it's so how does that work? Like, and what do people expect for a content creator trying to have the lights and have a lesson plan and video plan and script and cameras and editing, and you need to have the energy to do it. And if you're hangover, it's going to be very tough. So it's like, you know what, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then there's other tutorials people can go watch. Yeah.
Right. Tell me more about this book. What's the name of it? And it sounds like it's going to be something that a lot of music creators will find a lot of value in, just from what you shared about it so far.
Yeah, so it's going to be about creative confidence in music production, and especially when we're working with technology and our insecurities in it. So what are the core insecurities that lead our creativity, and how those insecurities affect our creativity and in the music industries?
Fantastic. And when do you have a release date, or you have a time frame?
I have a time frame, which is in the next year.
Okay.
It will be out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it. Love it.
But
love
there
it.
will be there's already a lot in that topic on my channel. There's a lot of content in that topic, and especially like about workflows and how workflows can help your creative confidence. So, for example, last December, I did 12 days of creativity, and you can still do it actually now. So it's on my website, and it's actually a step-by-step guide to finish a song. And it's to practice finishing tracks without caring what the outcome is. And also, what more you do so you practice just finishing a track. And then what more you do the 12-step program for finishing it, the more likely you're going to start to like what you make. So it's to do with the whole program is about dealing with those insecurities you have while making a track.
That's incredible. That's incredible. All right. We're talking stuff that I think is very, very important. And sometimes and I'm sure a lot of others don't, we go into these different, ruts or like highs and lows with this world that we're in. And it's important to have some resources like what you're describing to be able to reference to. So that's really cool. I want to know a little bit about your your primary place of content. Would that be your YouTube channel? Would that be Spotify? What would you say is your main place that you're creating stuff for?
That is YouTube, definitely.
Definitely.
It's been
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah, it's been YouTube for the last years, but this year it's gonna be more Spotify and more music. So, what's happened is when I started YouTube, I just needed a job. I needed pay my rent, as we all do. I was a university lecturer. I was teaching music production in a university. And then
Wow.
I kind of realized that actually YouTube is something I wanted to do more. So then I started to put all my effort to that until I could quit my university lecturing job. And now I'm doing that and been earning all my salary from that. But because of that, I now do actual music production as my job. So I do sound design for different companies. I do actual production. I do mixing. I do my own music.
Wow.
So now I'm kind of converting YouTube into my career as a primary music producer and a musician and a sound designer. And so I'm kind of taking that, and now it's the time. This year, 2023, is my a converting moment, where I'm
Love
still
it.
going to continue
What
it. It's totally going to continue it, but still as not as a primary thing.
Gotcha. So you'll still make videos as you've been, but you're going to make less videos. So maybe when they come out, it's more of an event, that type of thing.
Yes, or it's more about letting people into my work, letting people into my how did I make my songs? How did I make my sound design?
Yeah.
What techniques did I use in it? So it's more like as a content, like letting people into my work. Yeah, more that way.
You mentioned being a lecturer in your passion, in our passion, music production. And that is, I'm an educator myself. I have a tutoring business. I teach math, I teach piano lessons and English language arts.
Cool.
And I'm a former teacher myself. I taught middle school math for a few years after my previous career of being an engineer for Verizon for 12 years out of college. And so right now, I guess it's not enough of a goal of mine because I haven't put that much effort lately into doing this, but I see myself wanting to get into that university space as an adjunct type of a thing, right? Because I love teaching, I love educating, I love working with students. So I wonder, from your end, what was that experience like? Did you really enjoy it, but you figured you'd enjoy being a YouTuber more? That's why you made the transition?
I think there was a lot of things. I never see myself as a teacher or educator that much. Like I could say that I'm an educator wanting to share and encourage others and motivate others and inspire others. In that way, I'm an educator in that side of things. But I've always seen myself more as an artist as primary. My mom is an artist and my brother is an artist and my other brother is a musician. So I come from a whole family of artists. So I feel like I never seen any other option for my career than being an artist in a certain level. So I think that's the kind of I enjoy it, but it's not, I would say I'm 80% of artist and 20% of educator and all that. So I feel like this job now gives me more creative freedom I'm very project orientated person. I love projects and creating projects. So it gives me that freedom to do projects where when you're in a university, it's less projects, as it's more like you have real routine and you're going to have the same kind of curriculum but maybe every year, but also it does give you a lot of challenge and you meet amazing people and it's super inspiring to teach a lot of young minds. But I think also there was a part of me that felt that a little bit like a tick in a box. Because I was the first woman applying there for last 5 years. And I was 27 years old. And there was just part of me that felt that I could, how to say it? I felt like I don't want to just, I would like to, I feel like I can do more for gender equality to go further as an artist and YouTube and be more of a show what I can like be more of a role model in if I'm online. Then I had 88 boys and I had 7 girls when I was in uni.
I see.
So
that makes sense.
Those 7 girls obviously probably appreciated the fact that I was there, because when I was studying in a uni, I never had a female lecturer ever. So I never had any role models ever who would have looked like me or being like that I could identify with.
Sure.
So I feel like maybe now more with this career I can do that. So it is difficult, but I feel like if you have the passion for really tutoring and helping and, you know, all that, I feel like it's a perfect job, because universities is like, you do get that special connection with them, and then you're super proud when they graduate and then they go towards their own goals and stuff. And it's really, so all sides, isn't it? It has many sides to the career. I don't know if that answered your question at all.
No. I mean, that actually did, absolutely did. I mean, I think from my end, I have certainty because I've done some work in universities before, did like guest speaking and workshops and stuff like that. So I know for a fact that that's something that's on my horizon, but it's very interesting. And I mean, it's not surprising from your end how thoughtful you were just from talking to you for this 30 minutes or so. Like I see you as a, you know, incredibly talented, but also and also an incredibly thoughtful person. And so you wanted to make an impact, and you figured that this is the way that I think I can do it. And now look at you. I don't know how many years ago that was when you, was it 4 years ago when you started making?
Yeah, 4 years ago that I stopped.
3, 4.
So I think the first year of YouTube was still when I was in
I see.
teaching.
So you were kind of doing both, and then let me ask you a question about Ableton.
My students to subscribe.
yes, for extra credit, right? Yeah. So let me ask a question about Ableton Push2. So
my favorite topic.
we got to talk about it. I purchased one a while ago and used it and had a blast using it. Ended up returning it because I was in a space where I was just trying to figure out what my main way of making music was, and I wanted something mobile and portable and stuff. Now I have like a lot of opportunities to get more gear because I have this awesome like partnership with a company that provides stuff I can test out and all that good stuff, but which is amazing. But the challenge is that I have more stuff in this room right now than I think I have time to use. And so I have a Push2 somewhere in here. Dang, I don't even know where it's at. It's somewhere in this room. I haven't like set it up and started using it yet, but I plan to do so. So I want to know from your end, what would you like to see in an inevitable, air quotes, I don't know, but inevitable Push3? Do you want some like standalone action, like so it's battery operated and portable, or like what would you like to see in the next iteration?
No, I don't want a standalone. I feel like standalone, we have plenty enough standalones. The great thing about Push2, so I'm literally, for anyone listening, this is like, I'm this much obsessed about it that my master's dissertation was about Push2. So I'm definitely been a fangirl since 2013. It's been my babe. So Push2, why I wouldn't want to see a standalone, and also why I haven't had a need for Push3 personally. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but why I like what we have right now as Push2 is the fact that Ableton Live has endless possibilities of customization because of Max for Live. So if you are bored of what you're already being offered, or if you want more, just customize it. Just do whatever you want with it, because you can. It's literally, if you go to, is it Isotonic? Is it Isotonic? Company that creates Max for Live plugins, devices. I need to quickly. I think just a moment.
Sure.
Just so that I say the right one.
Right.
Yeah, Isotonic Studios. So Isotonic Studios example creates Max for Live devices, and a lot of it is for Push2. So there's a Ableton Live Certified Trainer called Mark Towers, and what he's done is example created ones that the 64 pads you can create like a game. So it's a bit like a Pac-Man or one of those like Tetris or something. So you can actually create music with like just playing a game. So this is what I mean, is that we don't even, most people don't know even half of it, of what it is capable of. And then we're asking more. Do you mean? So we are already, so what I want everybody to do is just put the laptop, put the computer away and just use Push2, just because it's literally a physical format of Ableton Live. So it's you can see how passionate I get. Like, it's just great for the fact that it gives you we are underestimating the fact that it's a physical format of a DAW, whole DAW in a physical format. Where else have we seen this, where whole DAW is in physical format in a little compact box on our desk? Yeah. What we still do is that we still use Ableton Live, and we use it as a controller that we just use for a little bit playing or a little bit finger drumming or something like that. But we don't use it as its full capacity, because we're still focusing in the box. We're still in the clicking, and we're with our mouse and stuff, instead of putting the computer away and just focusing what that can give. Because what it does is that actually enhances our creativity. And this is what my dissertation was about, is how does it enhance our creativity? And it does because we have the same way that you, like, example, you have a beautiful Nord is that behind you. Yeah. So it's the same thing, is that it has knobs, it has sliders, it has keys. And as soon as we approach it, our feeling of wanting create is so different than when we sit and we see all the options of a DAW. Right? We get intimidated, we get insecure, because we focus on things we don't yet know, instead of focusing on the things that we already know, and just pressing buttons, like the kid who's just got a new toy that it has colors. You press a button and it makes a sound, and that's that's why we're producers, because that is freaking fun. Pressing buttons that make sound, and we're like, and that's the feeling that we want, and that's what Push2 can do. But because it's a DAW, you can just make it a workflow. You can create everything on session view, then arrange it there, then record it to arrangement view, and after a while you can automate it, you can play with it, you can distort it, you can record some samples to it, put it in simpler, add some more vocals, whatever, and then you have a track that you can create fully just by using Push2. And that's why I don't want more. I already have, I don't need more. Obviously, if they want to offer me more, then go for it. But if I'm already loving what I have now, but also because then you have Max for Live, as I said, you can customize it and do whatever you want out of it.
That's fantastic. I'm inspired so much right now.
Yes.
Seriously. I mean, I really am. Everything you said about keyboard and mouse is the reason why I don't spend really any time in any DAW. Ableton is my only DAW that I've really used on the computer, but everything that I make is like on my keyboard here, or on my Teenage Engineering gear, on the iPad, because it's touchscreen and it's still tactile in a way, right? Similar to the way you were describing. But I've had that idea that you just mentioned of like, and I knew that Ableton Push2 was capable of doing exactly what you described, in the sense of being able to just use that and like turn the monitor off and just like navigate through sounds and maybe set up a few collections with your favorite sounds so it's easier, like all that type of stuff. And there's now is the time, because I mentioned to you my album that's dropping soon, and I was just doing like a live stream on YouTube before this, and I was saying to myself, like, similar to you, I think you mentioned you're going to be releasing more music, this year on Spotify and stuff, and so that's a direction that I want. You said a lot.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty.
Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to see what that looks like and get inspired by that. But I definitely appreciate that. Hopefully, anyone watching this, also, it's like a cautionary tale. Very, very important thing that you just mentioned, and I feel great that I asked the question that I asked, which is, for me, I'm into technology, and I'm always excited about the next thing. Like when I have the Nord Piano 4 or 5, I think this is the 5, right? Yeah, Nord Piano 5. Oh, when is the Nord Piano 6 coming out? Or when is this? When is the next thing? When is the next? But you have such a different perspective.
Yeah, and that kills our creativity. It really does. So be cautious of it, because as much as it's fun to love the gear, we all love it. We all love the new shiny new thing. But what it also does is that it puts expectations. It puts we focus so much more on the tools and the equipment than the actual inspiration of just the most elementary feeling of, oh, what does this button do? Let's just you could literally have a toy piano and make a whole track out of it just because it's fun. But then when we start to, let's say you get your Nord 8 and you get the manual, you start doing, it can be overwhelming because there's so much choice, there's so much new. You need to learn. And this is one thing that I teach on my book, but also on my YouTube, is that separate time into different. So there's a thing called so our brain actually works so that we have a wait, where is it? Oh my god, wait, again, I forgot words, sorry.
All good. I want to hear this. This sounds like it's about to be something great.
Yeah, it is. This is the thing of being a dyslexic and foreign.
We're good. Take your time.
Yes. So we have divergent and convergent thinking, right? Have you heard about them before?
I don't think I have.
So divergent thinking is where we are pulling ideas, right? So your brains, we call it brainstorming, we call it daydreaming in a shower. Okay. We call it when we are driving, we're in a meditative space and we're in a flow. It's just like thoughts. Convergent thinking is when you come out of that shower and you have the idea and it's like, oh my God, so good. And you sit by your computer, and what happens is that you start analyzing what you have just thought. So you start criticizing yourself. You start analyzing and putting it into a context. So it's you kind of dissecting these ideas and trying to put them in the context. So what happens a lot in that session is you also start being insecure about those things because you think about genre, what other people think, whether that is embarrassing, whether it's the right image for you, whether that is the right direction. You start analyzing your ideas and judging them. So what I recommend doing is that we separate our creative workflows into 3. So we have divergent thinking, convergent thinking, and then we have learning separately. So just have a session for yourself where you're just divergent thinking and you're focusing and forcing yourself not to judge it. So anything that comes in, you need to accept. You just need to let it, because it's not permanent, right? And also creativity doesn't have failure. It doesn't exist in creativity. You can't fail. It doesn't physically, that doesn't exist. So you just think. And then say next day you have divergent thinking and you're thinking, okay, what's the goal here? what do I want to do? Okay, I want to make a #1 hit song, EDM song. So then you think, okay, what are the things from my divergent thinking that would benefit my goal? So then you are firstly skipping your insecurities and you're more systematic about it, because then you're, okay, I have these ideas, let's pull those into something that concrete and something that will work. And then you separate your learning. So instead of having, you know, your new Norwich A, whatever, and then you're just sitting by, and then your inspiration went away because you're a bit exhausted, because it's a bit overwhelming, and you're kind of like the buttons, there's just a bit too much of them. And so you have that session separately. So then, yeah, sometimes we are lucky enough that we do divergent, convergent thinking and learning as a like cycle, and that's what we call flow states. But also sometimes if we just do, even if we don't learn same time, we just do divergent and convergent thinking, that's like we're in a flow, we're like inventing while judging kindly what we're doing in a perfect cycle, and it takes us to the whatever we're doing. But that's the issue, is that we so often think about the goal instead of the actual creative process, and we think about where we should be, where sometimes our creativity doesn't want to go there. And that's the issue, is that then we get disappointed and we get insecure because we think it's our fault. It's like we're not responsible of our creativity sometimes. Just let it happen. And then sometimes you need to be, if you want to go to a certain goal, you need to be more systematic about it and more realistic about it. Like, what are the things that define your goal? Because otherwise your creativity might have other ideas that you want to suddenly, you were going to do a folk song and suddenly you're making a techno track. Like sometimes your creativity just wanted to make a techno track instead of folk song. So if you want to make the folk song, you need to really be more planning about it and systematic about it, so that you avoid the panic state.
Which is
anyway, so
inevitable.
that's... Yeah, but yeah. So anyway, again, that's a whole monologue again. But yeah,
super interesting. I mean, when I edit this and people are gonna, it's gonna be cool, like looking at my face as you're saying these wise words, because I'm just like sitting here, just like thinking about what you're saying and being like, wow, that really speaks to me. You know, it's very relatable, especially where I'm at right now. I was telling my wife yesterday that like being an entrepreneur, being a creatorpreneur / musician in this type of space that I'm in right now, I kind of have my schedule set in a way where I have pretty big chunks of time on certain days where I don't have like a pressing thing to do. Like I'm not tutoring this day or that day or that day, and I don't have piano lessons that I'm actually taking now to level up my piano skills and stuff. So I have these days, and now I'm just being thoughtful about like not just making busy work or not just doing anything to make it feel like I had a full busy day, but being thoughtful about like what should I be doing this day, like having more structure to those days so that it's not just spinning my wheels, but it's actually like deliberate how I'm spending my time.
And that's so like time
that's
blocking.
How I'm thinking.
Time blocking, just like practice that, because it's amazing. It's like, okay, I'm going to do 2 hours now of brainstorming. Then I'm going to do a 1 hour of listening what's new in the music industry. I'm just going to listen to songs, write some notes. I'm going to analyze some tracks. I'm going to look for trends if you're into popular music. Or maybe I'm going to practice some new techniques where I'm going to look up YouTube tutorials for an hour. And then, you know, just being kind of systematic about it makes us less fatigued when we get tired of, you know, the exhaustion. And sometimes that can creep on because exactly it's the insecurities. As much as we want to avoid, like, think that we don't have those, they do. They creep in and they make us feel tired. They make us feel uninspired, or make us blame ourselves, or feel like we're shit and we can't, and we shouldn't even try to do this. And then your whole day, as you said, it's like you plan this whole day and then it could just be cut off because you just get this like the weight on your shoulders that you just want to go, and all this amazing gear and equipment left unused because we get so overwhelmed by it.
Wow. Yes, very true. I have two more questions. We can go on forever for
Go
this
for it.
conversation. However, I'm gonna ask you like to absolutely. I would love to have you on again at some point, several months down the road, to talk about how some of the stuff you just mentioned, how I've been applying it, and also just to
Yeah.
kind of check in with your music and what your new sort of pivot and shift, how that's looking and stuff. So
Yeah.
I will definitely
That's
love
cool.
to continue that. All
And
right,
maybe
so
then
two
I know
questions.
more about also when the
Go ahead.
book is out as well.
Oh, yes. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can even plan it around the time when you, yeah, have a date in mind or something. You can maybe announce it during, an exclusive
That would
on
be cool.
Chordmaster Keys. Okay, awesome. I love
We'll
that.
see. We'll see.
Right, right. All right. So first question. So you did something I think making an album or making a track or something in 7 days on live on YouTube several months ago. So I
Yeah.
want to talk about like your experience with YouTube Live and how you enjoy going live, how you enjoy going live on that platform, and like why you chose YouTube rather than something like Twitch or something like that.
Um, that experience, the 7 days. So I did an album in a 7 days, and it will come
Mm-hmm.
out maybe later this year or next year. I'm still working on it a little bit more, but
Mm-hmm.
actually, it became pretty cool. But anyway, so I think why I choose YouTube is because it's just very comfortable and easy for me because I have my family, I have my followers there, and I've kind of taken a conscious choice this year that I'm not gonna. The amount of subscribers I have right now
Mm-hmm.
is enough. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm sick of asking or thinking that like no, I'm sick of letting the pressure of having more followers or subscribers take away from my creative energy. And I'm so tired of it. And if I start now focusing on Twitch as well, I'm already focusing on trying to get a little bit TikTok and Reels going as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my major one is obviously YouTube. So if I'm trying to start to focus on another platform, it's just
Mm-hmm.
not going to work for my mental health wise, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I have my family, I have my YouTube family, which is a lot of my Patreon squad.
Mm-hmm.
They're called my squirrel family. They're
Mm-hmm.
called squirrels. There was a whole thing about a squirrel sample, and then it became a thing, and now
Yeah.
they're called the my squirrels, and they are the kindest group in audio. Like it's so full of positivity, kindness, encouragement. You know, all the toxicity that you see in audio, it's like none of that. It's just full of like just pure people who just, and then I do monthly challenges where I encourage people to challenge themselves, bit like the 12 days of creativity. So I almost felt like I wanted to do that stream there for them and like the core people who are there with me, and how amazing it is that nowadays artistry can be that you're following or fans, like maybe where 20 years ago, imagine if you could have done an album or been part of the album that your favorite artist was doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how incredible I think it is, the fact that we can be part of these people. We can, like, there was during these 7 days that I was doing this, there was the same people coming in and they said, oh, should you have a try if you could try putting this thing there, or have a try on this sound or something. And I were like, okay, why not, let's try it. And it worked. So there's some stuff that, imagine like people
Wow.
like who follow me, they could impact my tracks, and then now every time they're gonna listen, they were like, oh, that was because I suggested that.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Incredible.
for me, that's more important than followers or putting too much pressure on it. I already have like plenty. I'm almost 50,000 subscribers, and I feel like that is so many people. And if I now start to be greedy and want just just do this. I understand if you want to do it for subscribers because it gets you more money. I get it. And but I decided for me that's not healthy. And me making music with my squirrels is more important to me right now in this time of life. So that's why that's what I enjoy about it.
I love that. Yeah, again, being super intentional with what's important to you and understanding about you said something quite profound about like having the need to build a community on another platform. I guess I'll say need in air quotes, could be detrimental to your mental health. And I 1000% agree with that. I overthink things a lot. And so, for me, it's like, oh, if I'm making these things for Instagram or for YouTube Shorts, of course I should have a TikTok and these other accounts because it's already there and I can just post it there. It's easy, but there's so much to it's really not. Posting it might be easy, but dealing with the fact that you have 3 places to reply to comments, and then, oh, why did it do well on this platform and not on this one? Oh, maybe let me try to make some more TikTok centric or whatever. And it's not why good.
The arrows up and down, up and down is the most unhealthiest thing there is. Or asking yourself, why did this video done? So example, during my 4 years, I have never had even slightly viral video. I've had never anything that has blown up. I have had never that I'm like, my videos don't reach that much. They don't, like, I don't get that many people to my channel because I think there's a lot of reasons for it. But I think there is, I think my quality of what I do is good. But I needed to stop analyzing why I don't reach people. I needed because it's not good for my mental health. Yeah, maybe my thumbnails were great in the beginning. Maybe I, didn't use the best microphone, or I didn't use microphone at all at one point. Maybe people just don't like my teaching, or maybe it is because I'm a girl and they see a video by a girl and they choose between a guy or a girl who they're gonna trust more to give you the correct information. Maybe it's that, I don't know, but I can't start thinking about that and analyzing that, because what's the worth of it? And as much as I sometimes do, and I get to the cycle that I think that guy, he started a year ago and now he's in 100,000 subscribers, why is he so much better than me? I'm like, actually it doesn't define my value. It doesn't define the value or the effort of my videos or the quality of my videos. It doesn't define any of that. It really doesn't. And as much as my brain sometimes says it does, it really doesn't. And that's why I'm now doing conscious effort this year that I'm not gonna let it impact, and I'm enjoying the people that are already there. The people, I'm doing it for them, for the squirrels, because they are there and they want to be there. So that should be enough. Why would I be upset about, having 20, 30 people always showing up? That's a lot of people to always show up and put effort and time to watch what I do. That is true. And then even like couple thousand views, which is my average in a video, is couple thousand views. That's a lot of people still. Like, do you know what I mean? So why do it's not worth to, it's all this subscribers and following, and what we need to focus is loving what we do. And we just need to love sharing it with the people that care. And even if it's a one person that cares, that should be enough. Because otherwise there's no point. Because it's so unhealthy. And we just should love what we do and want to share it because we love it. I don't know. I don't know. Do you
I'm going to click. No, I'm clicking mark. I'm clicking mark clip right there, because that is that's really, really profound. That everything you said in that last bit there, kind of bringing it home, is that we need to enjoy what we're doing and you're so right about it. Be appreciative of whatever community it is that we do have, because they do show up and they do enjoy what we enjoy. They enjoy watching or consuming what we enjoy making, and whatever that number is, it's important to let go for sure. So anyone like listening out there,
letting go.
Yeah, letting go.
It's
letting
just like
go
be peace with the fact that your value as a human or as an artist is not reflected on these algorithmic numbers. It doesn't define you. It really doesn't. And you need to find the peace in yourself and the admiration in yourself and the confidence and the self-love in yourself to give yourself the love that, again, we're saying thank you to ourselves, that we are always showing up, that we are always doing the work. Like Snoop Dogg says that I want to thank myself. And that's what, like, because that he does the amazing speech where he just thanks himself, and that I feel like we need to feel that energy where we're just like, you know, not every time we want to feel like the numbers are defining us, we're just channeling Snoop Dogg saying, I want to thank myself, and just giving ourselves this appreciation and self-love of like self-appreciation that, you know, we're still showing up, we're still doing it. And it's
that's fantastic.
It's not defining us.
It's not. Yes. Say it again for the people in the back. Like, yes,
I know.
that's exactly it. That's it. Right. All right. So last question I want to talk about, and I'm going to even frame this up kind of about me, because I'm going to ask the question for help from my end, right? Which is to say, I look at Patreon as a platform that is quite remarkable, especially for YouTubers. It's a remarkable place to grow a deeper community. Yeah. I have a Patreon. I meet with a few people every Sunday evening, and we do like an hour-long chord sort of instructional, like a class, essentially, like a group class via Zoom. How to learn how to play chords and use them in your own production, so you don't have to like buy chord packs, that type of thing. And it's going well, and I enjoy doing it a lot. My question for you: you have your community is as you described several times in this conversation, and I did my homework as well to see like you're building an awesome community on Patreon. And I wanted to know like what tips you may have to build a community as a YouTuber, like both of us are, on this Patreon platform.
I think that it's taken, so I started that about 4 years ago, and there's been maybe 5 people at the first year. I don't know. There was like, it did start from a couple people and all this, but I think again, when it comes down to growing an audience, that especially if people pay you to be part of an audience, it should be about them and what you can offer them as you. So whatever it is, a YouTube or whatever it is that what can you do? What is most natural for you? What is the thing that makes you like most easiest thing for you to do? So I tried so many things in there, and I think now the last year it's been working that like I found what it is that I can offer. And what I can offer is confidence and creativity and helping people with their confidence and insecurities. And I can offer a community that is kind and encouraging and beautiful and friendships. And there's no hierarchy or gatekeeping or any of those things. And I'm no above anyone. Like, even though I created it, I'm there with them learning and going through this journey, and I'm being vulnerable. And vulnerability is what brings people to my channel. So I realized asking them, what do they want? And I asked them, what do they see me as? So what do they like about me? So what brings them to me? Wow. And they said that they like me because I'm vulnerable. And I show weakness, and I show vulnerability, and I show when I'm sad or when I'm anxious or when things don't go well. I'm not this perfect image of social media influencer. I'm just me. And that's what they related to, and that's what they felt like I can give them. And so if you want to grow your Patreon or your community, ask them, what do they want from you? What is it that you bring to them? Whatever it is. So it could be, so instead of just selling them with offers, you ask them, what do they want to get from you? And also what I noticed, one big thing about Patreon is that I've given over 250 almost videos for free education, university level education in YouTube for free. So people wanted to become part of my community because they wanted to give me something as return.
Yeah.
And so one thing about community is that you give, and then you don't ever ask in return anything. And then you put a thing where they're like, well, here, you can give me something if you want, but you can join my Patreon for $1. But most people choose to be 5 or 20 or 35 because they pay what they can, but also for $1 you can be part of my community. I'm not asking them, it's just welcoming everybody, whatever chance, because like maybe there's people who can't pay more than $1, but they want to be part of something. And then then because I do those challenges, which is again something that I can offer, is a challenge that gives them accountability. I offer that to everybody who is $5, $20, or $35. And then anyone who is 35, or pounds, they are actually pounds. But if you're 35 pounds, I also give feedback in there of their tracks twice a month. So that is basically what I do. And I think it's also just about the engagement that we meet once a month in a listening party, and I actually also involve them fully to my artistry. Example, we did a remix thing, and now we did remix challenge, and then one of them I chose to be the maker of the month. So we always celebrate a maker of the month, and a guy called Andrew, I picked him as the official remix, and now I'm actually going to make it official LNA remix, meaning I'm going to advertise it. We're going to work together on the release. He started producing a year ago. He doesn't even have a Spotify yet. But now together, I'm going to help him to do this.
Wow.
So again, I'm giving more than I'm basically receiving. But I'm doing it also because I want to help him, because the track is awesome, and Andrew should be heard. But there's lots of amazing. All my squirrels are so talented and amazing. So I think that is. Did that answer the question? Kind of like just
1,000%. I'm processing everything you said, and sometimes I'm like, dang, I should have written that down. I'm like, oh wait, it's being recorded. It's all good. I'll know that the end here is something that I'm gonna listen to again. And I was, in the divergent, I think, brain state where I'm thinking, as you're explaining, I'm thinking about the things about, making sure that you get feedback from the people that are there already. To know what they like. I love the question. What brings you, even for your YouTubers as well. I mean, I don't know if I would even do that necessarily on the community tab, but just allowing yourself to be vulnerable, like you just mentioned, and getting that feedback from people is amazing and a great idea. And there's so much value in this conversation. Go ahead.
I asked the people from the community tab. I asked also what.
Okay.
I put a Google form with a lot of questions, and I said would you like to give me some feedback? And I asked what do you think of my channel? And I learned so much people's perception of me by asking those things. And you need to obviously be ready to receive this information.
Yeah.
But also it helps me, because if you are if they're perceiving me a certain way anyway, then I rather know how they perceive me as. And because it's just how they perceive me. And I need to be confident enough to feel like whatever they say you know, it's not personal. Because also YouTube is not me. As much as I'm authentic, it's still not me. It's my job. I pick the piece of me that I want to show, but they don't know me. They don't know my life. They don't know who I am. So why? It's just how they perceive the little piece that they see. And then I can decide what to do with that.
Yes, you're extraordinarily profound. This is really, really. It's one of the top conversations Sami and I had on this platform.
Well,
really
I'm glad.
is. Yeah, for real.
Glad.
I mean, I'm like over 100 episodes deep right now. You know, I had some great ones, but this is really, really, this is really a lot of great information. And you mentioned vulnerability. I'll share this, and then we'll get started with the rest of our day, or continue with the rest of our day with my album listening tomorrow. I have this semblance of like I've been thinking about it constantly for the past several weeks, wanting it to go a certain way, and really not allowing myself to just, you know, let go and just go there and play these songs that I really enjoy and have my daughter there, my wife and friends and family. I know it's going to go well, but I still am constantly like overthinking things. So I need to practice some of the things that you just mentioned today and just relax and trust, I think the word I'm looking for, that it's going to be a good time, and just kind of let it be what it is.
And for that, I would say that also there is things called invalidation, that we care the most about the validation that come from the people around us, right? So your wife, your daughter, your family, their validation means the most to you. But the thing is that sometimes if they're not in music or in art, they don't know how to give the validation that we are expecting. I'm not saying that your family is not, but the people around us, that's what we care the most, and that's why you care so much. You care about, you're nervous because you care what they think, but it's good to learn and be prepared for the fact and the understanding is that they will probably never know how much this means to you and how what are the reaction you are expecting, or what would be enough reaction that would be enough for you. So if they say, oh, that's nice, so then you're like, nice? You know what I mean? What does nice mean? And then you start over analyzing it, and you start like twisting it in your head, because if you're not in art, you don't know that you need to be like, oh my God, that is brilliant. Well done. Congratulations. You're so good. That's what we are expecting, right? But just to kind of be mindful about the fact that the only way that you get the validation that you want, and you rightfully should have, is mostly your peers, because they know how it feels, or people who are artists. But then it's also good to manage your expectations when it comes to family and friends, because they are usually the ones that don't give it the way that we want it to be given, but they are the ones that we care the most about.
I love this
so there is
conversation
that.
so much. I love it. This is so good. It's like therapy. This is amazing. You're amazing. Thank you so much for...
Well, thank you for having me. I like all this. My book is so psychological of perspective, all this, and my dad is a psychiatrist and my mom is an artist, so I'm somewhere there in the middle.
That's so cool. They must be so proud.
Yeah, well, they're family, aren't they? So they're exactly the same.
I gotcha. Yeah. They are though. They are. I mean,
I'm sure they are.
That's a fantastic combination. Yeah. And I mean, that's helpful for me to even understand how you are the way that you are, right? I mean, at some point, like, yes, your parents are both doing the exact stuff that you sort of relayed in this conversation. So I think that's an awesome tidbit to include there. Thank you again so much. I'm excited to share this with people, and I'm glad we had a chance to connect, and I'm excited to even edit this. And then this whole entire time, I don't know if you were able to see me, But this whole time,
I
like
am.
I'm gonna take a picture. Are you okay? I'm gonna take a picture of you just so you can see how you look here.
Oh,
Because
no.
it's so grainy the whole entire time. It's gonna be funny to look at this later. I don't know.
Oh,
Actually,
no.
maybe I don't know how clear. I mean, it's
Oh,
probably they probably both look, but
no.
it's like it's so grainy. But it's gonna be good when I edit it. I'll be able to see you, and it'll look fine, and it's all good.
Yeah. Because in my
But
side, I can see myself okay.
yeah, same here. I can see me, but can you see me okay on your side, or do I look a little
I
bit
can
blurry?
see you okay. It's a bit grainy,
Decent.
but it's okay.
A little bit. Okay.
Yeah, it
Fair
must
enough.
be my internet. Sorry about that. It's
it's
old
all-
York,
Yeah, yeah.
very
And
old
look,
town.
when I make it out there, which eventually I will definitely be hitting you up. We'll like have to meet up in person and do a drink or something
Yeah.
like that and continue the conversation.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Have a good one.
Well, thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
You as well.
Bye. And good luck with tomorrow. Good luck with the listening.
Thank you. I'll let you know how it goes.
It will. Yeah, it will. I'm sure you will go fine. They love you, so
Awesome.
I'm sure that it will be absolutely fine. Just
Thank you
relax.
so much. Relax
Okay, bye.
and enjoy.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Exactly. Bye.